For most of my life, I said, if you consider a door to an office, and in the office is a desk, and the desk has, you can't see where the legs are, right? So there's drawers on both sides. There's a chair. And I said, for most of my life, I was hiding under the table, and nobody could see me. People would come to the door and they'd knock. I wouldn't let them in. Every once in a while, somebody would look in. They couldn't see me, so they'd close the door, right? With my counselor, I said, a long time ago, I let you into the room, and I'm glad that I've got that relationship. But I said, when this whole thing started around sexual abuse, I said, I'm about to come out from under that table for the first time, right? And I said, but before we go out that door, I want to take you to every corner of this room that I've been, living in with the door closed. I said, the hugest shift for me is I feel safe, and so I'm just going to try and walk you around the room. So I said, my hope by the end of our time together, and we're probably getting close, is that you'll open that door and I'll walk out with you, and I'll into the sun, like whatever image you want to see, all right? With family, we went to a church here in Oshawa. My kids called it the rock and roll church. It's probably sort of Pentecostal, kind of like, the rock band and everything, the spiritual manifestations and all that. So while I was at that church, we were on a thing called a retreat called Encounter. And part of the program there, most of the people would be coming from outside of the church. They have the opportunity at a certain point in an evening to be one-on-one with somebody where you can basically confess. It's like the Catholic confession, only for most people, this is the first time they've ever had to do it, and some of them have a lot of stories, right? And in that context, I was saying to this gentleman things that I had experienced as a child, right? And things that I had done. And he was broken. He was like bawling in front of me, and that overwhelmed me, right? But I can remember something moving in me that week and thinking, this is very weird, On the final night, we were in, I can't remember the whole context, but different people were having different experiences. Mine was, I was on the floor and I couldn't move, and it was, I sort of felt it like this was happening. I couldn't move, right? My eyes were closed, and this woman came up, knelt down beside me, and right beside my ear, she just said, "Come out from under the table, little boy." I just about, yeah, I kid you not, okay? And you consider that that's my analogy to describe myself to anybody. For her, out of nowhere, without knowing a thing about me, to kneel down beside me and say that to me, that was a pretty profound, I think, God thing. And I think that was what God was telling me. Come out from under the table. Like, it's not go out the door, come out from under the table, walk around the room, learn a little bit about the context of this life you've lived, right? In a sense, I think that, because this happened before my separation, actually. How did it affect me?
Yeah, that
I just, transformative, like just, I couldn't, yeah, that wasn't a story I could tell anybody, but that's how deeply it affected me. And I remember coming back from the weekend just going, not really understanding it, but feeling, I think looking back, maybe part of me was thinking all of this is now gone. Of course, it wasn't gone, but I thought that I perhaps had an image into what freedom from this could look like in that moment. That was in a safe place with people I trusted, with a message that was filled with love, and was explaining to me that there's a love from God that's meant for you to experience, that even though you don't feel you can be, you are. Like the fact of that. So something shifted, I guess. And all I can say is, looking back now, that gave me the courage to seek it. You know what I mean?